Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We have some breaking news out of Barnesville, Minnesota to start our news tonight. A man is rescued after climbing on his roof to escape a house fire. The first crew on scene reported heavy smoke coming from this home. Firefighters tell Valley News Live that they were able to quickly put out the flames, which were coming from the basement. The man, who was at home at the time, was not injured, and emergency teams rescued him from the roof of his house. Now, the home has smoke and water damage, but no word yet on what exactly caused the fire. We have some new developments in the case of the high-speed chase and shooting in Grand Forks over the weekend. We now know that there are 3 officers that were put on leave, and a UND police officer had allegedly shot suspect David Elliott several times. Officer Jared Broughton is on paid administrative leave pending an internal investigation. Broughton has been with UND Police Department since October 2013. Grand Forks police say 3 officers in their department are on administrative leave after the intense incident. Lieutenant Dwight Love with Grand Forks PD tells us none of their 3 officers actually pulled the trigger in the shooting, but they're involved in helping with the chase and eventually the wrap-up. Lieutenant Love says that the Grand Forks police officers are on leave as because of the emotional toll that it took on them. He adds this is standard procedure in a stressful incident. A new law makes Minnesota parents take more responsibility for training some of the most dangerous drivers on the road, teenagers. Parents are now required to spend more time with their kids behind the wheel before their teen is allowed to take their driver's license test. Valley News Team's Neil Carlson shows us how this all works.
The national statistics are alarming. Motor vehicle crashes are the #1 cause of death among teenagers across the country. In fact, statistics show that during their first year on the road, teen drivers are 10 times more likely to get into a crash than other drivers.
This is an initiative that's been created through the Zero Death Initiative in the state of Minnesota. Each county has Zero Death Initiative coordinators.
The new law works like this. Before teens can even take their driving test, parents will now be asked to take a safe driving class regarding teen drivers. Parents will also be required to keep a log of time spent in the car with their kids behind the wheel.
It only requires 40 hours of logged time, 15 hours of which have to be in the evening. If you don't sit through a parent supplemental course, you have to log 50 hours, of which 20 hours have to be in the evening.
Like it or not, it's now the law in Minnesota, and it's already been shown in other states that it works.
A study has found that students that have their parents involved in their driving seem to have significant less accidents than students that don't have parental involvement.
In Crookston, Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
If you would like more information about this new law and the forms that you'll need to fill out, we have everything you need on our website. Just head to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. Drugs, gangs, and a Fargo connection. 7 members of 2 Minneapolis street gangs are going to be facing federal drug charges. They've been indicted by a federal grand jury in what the Minnesota U.S. Attorney's Office calls a far-reaching crack cocaine conspiracy. Members of the Taliban and Young and Thuggin gangs are charged with using violence and intimidation to control a large drug distribution operation stretching all the way from Minneapolis to St. Cloud to Fargo. Investigators say members of the North Minneapolis-based gangs are often armed, and rivals are with 2 other street gangs that had more than a dozen members indicted late last year. Well, to our weather now. We're cold yet again today out there, and pretty high winds as well. Let's see when this weather will take a turn for the better. Hutch, what are we expecting tonight?
Well, we definitely have more cold in store with those winds continuing to create some pretty brutal conditions. We see our neighbors down in the Gulf Coast states enjoying 70s while we are holding on to stay at or near 0 here in the northern plains. Winds are gusting over 20 miles per hour. They remain from the west-northwest across most of the region. And the strongest winds are right here in the Red River Valley and in Lakes Country. Fergus Falls gusting to 21 miles per hour. While the radar is quiet, we still have to be concerned about dangerous wind chills going through the overnight. Here's your planner for Fargo-Moorhead. Bundle up. Temperatures will slip below 0 with west winds persistent at around 10 to 15 miles per hour. A few gusts still upwards of 25 miles per hour. That will bite on the earlobes. So cover up the earlobes. I'll have details on a very cold overnight and then a warming trend. We'll have details on that in a few moments.
We like warm.
Miles of smiles.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Thanks, Hutch. Well, with the warmer weather on the way, it's time to start thinking about taking that ice fishing house off of the lake. The deadline to remove them in North Dakota is March 15th. Deadline in Minnesota has already passed. And just because the conditions are good right now doesn't mean that they won't change. As Doug Lear explains, the weather can still be unpredictable.
Well, because we do live in the land of extremes, and as cold as it is right now, you look into Mick's crystal ball, and not too long from now, I mean, things can change so rapidly. And
Spearfishing also closes on March 15th. If you'd like to continue ice fishing past the deadline, you can go out only on a daily basis, but ice houses cannot be left unattended. A Harwood man is getting a shady phone bill credited after calling a whistleblower hotline. He got a bill from Sprint, but he isn't a Sprint customer. He thought it was a scam and called us on Monday to investigate. Valley News Live called his phone company in Mid-Continent, who tells us it's a long-distance billing error with a third-party company through Sprint. Today, he got a call from the company crediting back his money. Mid-Continent says others in the valley have had a similar issue, and they should call the number on the bottom of your screen. Well, if you ever need help uncovering any other issue, corruption or fraud or anything in your community, just call us, our whistleblower hotline, and we'll do our very best to get to the bottom of it. Call 701-237-6576. Leave your tip with us, and a member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work exposing the truth. Brad Wimmer and Tony Gehrig are the winners in a Republican straw poll today. The poll is part of an event that the United Republican Committee hosted in Fargo. The committee calls the gathering Politics and a Plate. It was the chance for party faithful to hear from candidates for this spring's city election over the lunch hour and learn a little bit more about what they stand for. And while most of those taking part in the event back the diversion, the proposed convention center generated some serious sharp differences. Two candidates, Wimmer and Mahoney, are squaring off in the mayor's race next month. 6 people are running for city commission. The Republicans hosted this event, though they say it was not a partisan one. The back and forth with the Affordable Care Act just continues in this country, and now a Supreme Court decision could have a huge impact on 8 million uninsured people. Alex Miller has the latest from Washington.
In the ongoing saga of the Affordable Care Act, lawyers presented their arguments to the Supreme Court Wednesday about the individual mandate for health care. Lawyers dove into the nitty-gritty of Obamacare, basing their entire argument on one single phrase. The law reads like this: states shall establish exchanges, but not all states chose to do this. In fact, 34 chose not to set up exchanges at all. So the federal government stepped in and established an exchange in each of those states. A Virginia couple is petitioning the case. They don't want to pay for health insurance, and their state is one of the 34 that didn't create an exchange. The court must determine who qualifies to purchase insurance. The law says it's a person who resides in the state that established the exchange. So either all 50 states qualify, whether set up by state or federal exchange, or only the 16 states who set up their own exchange will. Only those 16 states qualify. People in the other 34 states, or about 8 million people, will likely lose their insurance. This could cause rates to skyrocket, doing exactly the opposite of what the Affordable Care Act was intended to do. If the case rules in favor of the government, people who did not want insurance in those 34 states will have to get it or face a penalty.
Well, this case has been extremely political, and many Republicans don't want to force people in their states to get insurance, while Democrats side with the government, including all 50 states in the exchange. A Supreme Court decision is expected in June. Well, the Senate has failed to override President Obama's veto of the Keystone XL pipeline bill yet again. Today's 62-37 vote failed to achieve the 2/3 necessary to override the vote. It was the first of many confrontations expected between the Republican-controlled Congress and the White House over energy policy. Well, the first day of testimonies wrapping up in Boston with the Boston Marathon bombing trial. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev faces 30 counts in connection with the April 2013 attack. After day one, it's clear Tsarnaev's defense team isn't trying to get him acquitted on all the charges he faces. Rather, they're trying to keep him from being put to death. In the defense's opening statement, lawyer Judy Clark admitted her client's role in the April 2013 bombing that killed 3, injuring more than 250 near the marathon's finish line. The defense's opening only lasted 20 minutes, and prosecutors took about an hour. Prosecution witnesses are going to continue testimony tomorrow. Yesterday, we told you about a young woman who's recovering from a traumatic spinal cord injury. Today, there's a way that you can help her with the mounting medical expenses that she's incurring. A benefit's going on tonight to cover all those expenses that insurance isn't taking care of. It lasts all the way till 2 in the morning. It's at Shotgun Sally's Rock and Roll Saloon in Fargo. The night features a variety of activities, including a spaghetti feed, silent auction, and live entertainment if you want to go. The FM area is turning a little more green, all thanks to the efforts of many groups working together. Gas stations in the FM area will now have bottle bins near pumps to encourage people to recycle. The Recycling Association of Minnesota brought the Message in a Bottle program to the area because they wanted to expand it. Heartland Industries will be collecting and sorting the bins while giving employees with disabilities a chance to earn a paycheck.
We want to provide that opportunity vocationally to those that are really in need, and the job coaches to really give them the guidance, the morale, and also to really make sure they get the job done to standard as well.
For more information on this program, head to valleynewslive.com and look for this story. Still ahead for us at 5, the dangers that this child bassinet could pose to your little one.
And we have gusty winds causing dangerous wind chills once again tonight. Temperatures quickly back to sub-zero readings. But then a warm-up takes hold. I'll have details on whether or not we get back to these average highs of 30 after this.